He's mine.
Alright, so never look down on anybody unless you're helping them up. Quote by Jackson. A lot of times we think about that quote, and I think, it means a lot. Looking down on somebody. We've all been in those situations in life where, for me, for instance, tying a shoe, I didn't know how to do that. My brothers used to make fun of me. I mean, they were in that same position when they were younger. No one knew how to tie their shoes. No one knew what to wear and stuff like that. So a lot of that metaphor, when people are like falling off over a boat and you have to lift them up, you're looking down on them, but you're helping them up. I mean, it brings it to home a lot of times. Another example shows that when you're a baby, you didn't know how to eat, or you didn't know how to open a door. A lot of times people would make fun of you, or make fun of you because you didn't know how to do something. We've all been in those positions, and so it's kind of hard to make fun of somebody for not knowing something or not knowing how to do something when you all were in that same position. So looking back on that quote, it shows that none of us are perfect, and none of us are capable of doing anything without learning how to do it beforehand. It takes one example to show us how to do something. So yeah, thank you.
What? What are you gonna do? What? Oh, thumb one. Oh.
All right, Christopher, you kind of start with the quote as the attention device, and I think that you're getting off on the wrong foot there. You need to have a point of view. You need to have an idea. I think you should start with the example of your brothers teasing you about not being able to tie your shoes, and then share with us the quote, and then tell us, that really this is an inappropriate thing to look down on people simply because they need some help. You don't really seem to have a plan after you've got that one example about what you're going to say. And this is one of the things that you need to do when you're doing an impromptu kind of presentation. You have to think about, well, there's got to be a strategy, there's got to be an end point, and I have to have a few steps to get to that end point, and you haven't developed those steps. So once you run out of just saying the same idea, you're kind of got nothing to say. You've exhausted it all. And I think that's a little bit problematic. Look, the presentation issues, your voice projects pretty well. You've got reasonable energy. It did feel sometimes like you were rushing a little bit during the presentation. Your gesture's a little bit limited. You do a little hand clasping sort of thing while you're talking, and that's maybe an indication of anxiety. And like I said, if you had some content in the speech, if you had a little bit more structure, you would probably relax a bit when it comes to those things. Your eye contact was okay with the audience, but basically you're done after slightly over a minute's time, and it's awfully hard to make an assessment on some of these things because you really don't settle into giving the speech. It finishes very quickly. I do think, though, that you make a good choice when you, if you don't have anything else to say, you can't think of anything else to say, there's no point in standing up there and struggling in front of us. And so I like the fact that you pull the trigger on it and at least put it, I don't want to say put it out of its misery, that sounds so horrifying, you know. But just, you know, you don't make it feel more awkward for the audience by drawing obvious attention to the fact that you don't have anything else to say. And, you know, that's a better thing to do than just struggling up there and hoping that something's going to come to you. The better thing, of course, would be to have come up with a plan while you were thinking about it. And I just don't think that there's much of a plan there. All right. Now, before we send Frank in, oh, Frank's already in, we have to find some topics. First of all, I need an eval form. Why don't I have an eval form? I feel shamed about this. All right, and now we've run out of topics.
Is there any good ones?
I wrote a new one.
Hey, you could use that one if you want.
Yeah, it's a good one.
See, they don't like that one. I really like this one. We'll give you. You have that one,
Or the one I did.
and
Come on.
we'll let you use this one if you like,
Use it.
and this one.
Okay.
So pick between those three.
There's a backstop, right?
And we'll send somebody out for you in a few minutes. We'd have you send Frank in, but he's already found his way in.
So we'll have